have been so many of those plays that you can't tell. They just make them higher.
You shouldn't need John Brankus and the sports science crew to figure out if that football is going to go in between the two goalposts or not. It's either in or it's out. And you're not going to be able to tell unless you raise the goalpost. Personally, if there truly was a goalpost that was stretched up to the sky, there was no way that thing went in. No, what do you think?
Honestly, it was very close, and it was really tight. I agree with you, Jake. I don't think it went in. But I also agree that they do have to change something, because it happens, I think, it happened more this year than I think it's happened in most years, that it's gone over it, and you don't know what would happen. Of course, if you put in a post, there's a better chance that even if it was more in than out, that it would probably hit the post and not go in. But that's why I think the laser idea is slightly better, because that way you can actually tell. But honestly, either way, though it probably could have had a difference in the game, even if you subtract that 21-17, of course it's a different game if he misses it, but either way, I think the Broncos would have come out this as the win.
No, calls aside, field goals are not aside, neutral zone infractions aside, if you can't stop the opponent on 3rd and 17 when your season's on the line, forget not even stopping them, leaving a man wide open, you don't deserve to win. It was as simple as that. The Chargers still scratched and clawed their ways for a chance. And you know what? It could have been easier for them. But that's not the way they've done things this season. They've had their backs up against the wall. They had to get the job done again in that moment, and they did it twice. Twice, they could not stop Peyton Manning on 3rd down in that final drive, and that's what ultimately killed them in that one. So, you know, a strong win for Denver, but they're going to need to be a lot better. And San Diego, if Rivers gets his head right, this is another one of those young teams who drafted very well this year. They're looking up. Oh, now, with Keenan Allen, the way he performed today, I've been thinking for a while that Lacey should be the winner of Rookie of the Year. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. I mean, I'm sorry. If I picked Lacey, it'd be biased. Clearly, I did not watch enough Chargers games. I think Allen should be Rookie of the Year. Joe, your thoughts?
Completely agree. That's really all I have to say about that. Yeah, he totally deserves it.
Noah?
I think this is one of the closer races we have. And, of course, I want Lacey to win. And I saw Keenan Allen play a lot of the year. And first of all, I thought in the draft the Packers should have drafted him.
I agree.
He was my pick for first round. Repeatedly, I told my friends, pick him. We should pick him. And they said, no, he's not good. Well, obviously, that's wrong. And we ended up going a different direction. And I think Keenan Allen deserves Rookie of the Year. I think it'll be close. I don't think it should be anywhere near unanimous, because I think Eddie Lacy had a stronger regular season, in my opinion. Keenan Allen, he played well throughout the year. I was very impressed with his performance, and he should win Rookie of the Year.
All right, well, Carl, wherever you are, we apologize for the tough time we gave you last week. We've had a change of heart. So now looking on to next week. Oh, it's just so perfect. Roger Goodell must be dancing in his offices in New York. The Fox guys, the CBS guys, everybody's happy. You get Manning versus Brady edition number 25, and then you get Seattle versus San Francisco for the 3rd time this year. It's a dream come true, I imagine, for NFL execs. Let's start with the game that will be played first in New England versus Denver. Now, the Patriots have been hot, as have the Broncos. And these two teams proved that they were the best in the AFC. Who comes away with the victory next week, and why? Joe?
The Patriots really just should not be here at this point. All the injuries, the young receivers, they shouldn't even be here right now. But they're still going to win that game. If you watch that game in Denver today, they just were not firing on all cylinders at all. If Peyton Manning comes out and plays like that again, they have no shit chance against the Patriots. And all history points to him not playing well again. It'll be cold. Let me look up the 10-day forecast. It is supposed to be 30 degrees, wind, low of 15. We all know Peyton's cold weather struggles, and just the playoff struggles in general. I don't think, at the end of the day, it'll come down to the quarterback, and Brady is proved time and time again he's better in the clutch than Peyton Manning.
These two have faced off in the playoffs 3 times previously. 2003 NFC Championship game went to the Patriots. 2004 was a divisional round game in which the Patriots held the Colts to single digits. They won that game as well. And the last time they faced off, 2006 AFC Championship game, the Colts mounted a massive comeback, capped by a Joseph Addai touchdown. They won that game 30-35 and go on to defeat the Chicago Bears in Super Bowl 40. So, when it comes to the matchup between Brady and Manning, while Brady seems to get the better half, in the playoffs it's just 2-1, and Manning's been having a legendary season. Noah.
Well, Manning has been having a legendary season. And he's definitely, in my opinion, the best of all time. The year, and him as a quarterback, I think he will go down as the best of all time. And I think Manning is the better quarterback. But when it comes down to it, if I had to choose a quarterback that I wanted in a conference championship game to win that game, to possibly win a Super Bowl, I will take Brady. Because Brady, for me, plays better. And personally, I think though his team is not unbeatable, though he's had all these injuries, they have defied expectation. They lost a couple of games. Sure, they lost in Miami. They lost in Carolina. They lost against the Jets. All of his games away from home, they lost. But in the end, I think when it comes down to it, it's Tom Brady. I think this defense is slightly better than the Broncos. The Broncos are good against the run. They are the 8th best, but they are horrible against the pass. 27th in the league. On the other side, New England is bad against the run game. But frankly, the Broncos haven't had the best sustained run game. They didn't have a great run game today. I don't think they're going to have a great run game, especially when you want to win in a conference championship. You need to throw the ball, especially if you have Peyton Manning as your quarterback. New England, not amazing, but 18th, significantly better than 29th. I see New England coming out of this one in a tight one. I just don't trust Peyton Manning, or frankly, Peyton Manning's team in the playoffs.
I don't trust Peyton Manning in the playoffs. I don't think he will be able to go down as the best ever because he hasn't been able to get the job done in the playoffs, like, say, Joe Montana. So, with that said, you don't go with Peyton in the playoffs unless he's going up against Rex Grossman. And for that reason, the New England Patriots are going to win. Brady, Belichick versus Manning, AFC Championship. This is exactly what the Patriots could have hoped for. Well, no, never mind. Scratch that. They probably would have rather had the Chargers. But when it comes to this matchup, the Patriots always seem to get the better. Manning just doesn't cut it in the playoffs, although if Denver does come away with a victory here, it will be the 5th time in the past 8 years that there will be a Manning brother playing in the Super Bowl. Now, I realize, going back, we did not talk about what the Chargers need to do in the offseason, so we'll just go over that pretty quickly. What do the Chargers need to do to improve this offseason? Noah?
Well, look, I think their offense has gotten substantially better. You look at it, they brought Matthews, despite not being able to play much this game, he really turned it around in the second half of the season. Keenan Allen has played great. Eddie Royal, Antonio Gates in the twilight of his career, but really, it's not a need yet, in my opinion, for the Chargers to really go out and get a tight end. But they will be picking, I believe, let's see where they'll be picking this year in the draft. They're picking in the lower 20, 25, I believe. They will be picking after going out this round. Let me see here. Yes, 25. And I think that they're going to go offensive line here. I think they have a great team. I think this team has a lot of potential, especially, like you said, the young players. And a guy like Zach Martin from Notre Dame, the offensive guard, could really make a difference. And it would help strengthen that running game, especially because he's a great run blocker. You could also... No, I think they'll go offensive line. I think that'll be the best for them. And I think they have a bright future.
Yeah, once again, young team, and there were many moments in this season where they could have, and more importantly, should have won the game. If you look at their losses, 3-point loss against Houston, 3-point loss in Tennessee. Their only loss that was more than one possession was a 10-point loss in Oakland. They lost by 6 in overtime in Washington. They lost by 8 in Denver. No, at home against Denver. Lost by 4 in Miami. Lost by 7 at home against Cincy. So, if they can use this experience, if they can be the team that they were for the final 4 games of the regular season, they can be a serious contender in the playoffs next year. But Rivers just needs to get he needs to get together. I still don't look at him and think, wow, this is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Joe.
You have to address that offensive line. Did anyone else see that graphic that they showed of all the different starters on the offensive line throughout the season? Like how many different people have started at each position?
Was it like 11 or something?
Yeah, it was crazy. There were like 4 different right guards over the course of the season. That you really just can't have that. You need a solid group of guys that play week in and week out. And yeah, they had some injuries, but still, you need to shore that up. Go get some offensive linemen.
Yeah, you gotta be able to protect the quarterback if you want him to play well. So, I believe the consensus pick, this means the consensus pick for the AFC Championship game would be the New England Patriots. So, I'm hoping for that. If I actually get the Super Bowl pick right from the beginning of the year, I will have to go back and find that clip from my very first episode, which will be not a great experience for me. Sometimes I don't really love memory lane, but it's nice to see how far we've come. Now into the NFC. Who is the lesser of two evils, Pete Carroll or John Harbaugh? This is a lot of hatred involved in this game for me. Seahawks hosting the Niners. Seattle has had their way in the Pacific Northwest when it comes to playing against San Francisco. But anything can happen, as we have certainly learned this year in the NFL. Joe, who are you picking for this game and why?
Seattle's winning this game. They have the better quarterback. They have the better running back. And that defense, that stadium, you're not beating Seattle at home. Especially in the playoffs. Seattle all the way.
Short, sweet, to the
and
point.
Whoever wins this game, by the way, is going to win the Super Bowl.
Whether
it's Denver or New England, the winner of the NFC game is winning this Super Bowl.
I'd agree with that statement. Noah.
I have to go with the Seahawks as well, and I'll also have to echo the fact that whoever wins this game is going to win the Super Bowl. Well, this San Francisco team has beaten the Seahawks twice in the past 3 years, both times at home. You look back at the games in Seattle, however, 29-3, a loss, and then in 2012, one of the last games of this season, or farther down in the season, it was not pretty. 42-13, making it 71-16 combined in the score. I don't see them winning, even if Seattle doesn't have a phenomenal day like they didn't. And they allow them to have a little bit of leeway. In the end, I think Seattle is the best team. Their defense, in my opinion, has no holes. There are not holes in that defense. They did allow a little bit to the New Orleans Saints late in the game, but this Seattle team, their defense is imposing. The 12th man is imposing. It's scary to be there. I understand Kaepernick has experience with that, but in the end, that experience has not proven anything in the past 2 games. Their offense has been unable to get anything going there. I don't see San Francisco changing that next weekend.
Yeah, it's going to take more than some Beats headphones and some Aloe Black to block out the atmosphere in Seattle. Although, hats off